Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I was on eBay, and today we're going to be doing some spraying. So, not necessarily with the Landy, but I went to do some runs to the store yesterday. Had the opportunity after 3 solid days of plowing to straighten stuff out. So, we did a little bit of purchasing in anticipation of the next couple of days worth of work. We are up to day 6 out of 9 in our spring. Our ground temperature is doing very well, so we are almost ready for seeding, but we've got at least 2 more hard days of work before we are even ready to do that. So, priority right now is getting the canola field and the oh, the bell scared me. The canola field and the wheat field ready for planting, as we have a couple of extra days to get the cornfield ready, and we need to get ourselves a corn seed drill anyway. So yeah, so that's all doing just fine. We had a couple of very productive days. I mean, there was nothing but seeding. I mean, I had to feed the animals at one point, but you know, that's just part of running the farm as it is. Gave me a lot of time going back and forth to think about options for the finances of how to make this work. When we get to the field, I'll show you where we're at with that. But yeah, through here. So this field here is the one that I had reserved for potatoes. I never got around. I ran out of time. I didn't get to plow it. If we lose 10% on our potato crop, we lose 10% on our potato crop. And honestly, if we never get a potato crop in the ground, I'm going to be okay with that too, because the cost of buying in a couple of crates of potatoes now and then for 5% of our productivity is not a big deal. But this field is all plowed. The field behind that hedge is all plowed. And the very first field we started on is all plowed. My little tractor is back here. We did some shopping with him last night, late into the night. So, okay, I'm just going to leave this here. Hang on one second. So, unhook that from me. And we'll move this guy out of the way. Yeah, I took advantage of a couple of hours of evening time last night to be able to run to the store with the loader on the tractor. We put all this stuff into the little trailer. Let's just say that we were not road safe all the time. That's like 2,000 liters of fertilizer in each of those tanks. So that's 6,000 liters of fertilizer. Plus, we picked up a couple of big bags. While I had the forks there, I figured, you know, I'll throw on a big bag of these with the on the second load. So that was fine. We also bought ourselves a cultivator. It's not much of a cultivator, but you know, it's $4,000, and this will do us just fine. It just means doing more laps. So let's take a look at our finances now. You can see I'm up to $135,000 on my loan. I had to borrow another $35,000, and I haven't even yet gone through to buy more food. We're going to need to get another whack of food, and the last time we did that cost us almost $40,000. So yeah, we're going to have to think about that long and hard, but we're looking at about $200,000 of debt before we even start collecting anything. So that's a little harsh. But we're reproducing pigs at a rate of 1 every 3 hours and 20 minutes. We're up to 129 pigs. So we've made $29,000 to $30,000 right now. So $30,000 in profit, and we're $35,000 under. So we're kind of breaking even right now, but if you know what I mean, like we're every penny we borrow, at least we're getting another pig to replace it. But you got to remember, we invested over $300,000 just to get ourselves started. So how do we get all that stuff back? I don't know. I don't have the answers any more than you do right now, but you know, we're working on it. It's going to take me a little while to figure it all out. So let's see here. Turn that on. Okay. Back that up to the sprayer. That should be good. So hook them up to that. Put on our PTO. And yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. So let's get back in. Okay, we're gonna need some air in here if we're gonna be spraying. I don't want to be stuck in here with all the chemicals. I'd rather it just flow through here. So let's hook up our, let's go up to our containers here. Hit the R key to refill. Now, I'm guessing that it's going to take us 3 of these containers to do it. That's 2,000 a piece. This thing takes 900 per load. So that's a grand total of roughly 6 to 7 loads that we have on here. So, and you know what? I think I'm going to do this field first because you guys have already seen me both plow and fertilize that first field already. So let's start with something completely different. The other thing that I did, you know, sort of as an excuse for it, is that we're going to put GPS on this thing. I found that, especially when I'm plowing, if I try to plow freehand, the inefficiency in the rows is costing me 50% more in time to do it. It basically means that I'm getting overlap and the turning and all that stuff. So let's unfold that. Let's get out and see that unfold. It's kind of funny how it unfolds. I like that. So that arm first, all the way to the end. And then you come over here and you unfold this side. And then that tips there. And then there's like this weird little delay. And waiting, waiting, waiting. And waiting. And now it's done. Okay, good. I find that hilarious. I don't know why. So, let's do this now. Let's set that up to automatic. Scoot that off to the side. Remove the offset. Remove the lines. And hide it. Okay. So, now we're going to hear the beeps, but we won't have to look at the lines at least. So, hide that. Okay, turn it on and go. There we go. Now we're on track. So, let's see here. So it is an absolutely massive amount of land. I'm hoping against hope that not only are we going to be able to take care of our pigs, but we will also be able to sell some surplus. Because the more I think about it, the more I feel like we are going to need to come up with a way of adding value to our pigs. And adding value means getting into the sausage factory industry. It means processing our own meat and selling it directly to either retailers or wholesalers, instead of just dropping off our pigs at a fattening yard for them to do it all for us. It's going to be a little bit more work, but at this stage of the game, it's about maximizing profit per pig. So I mentioned in the last show, Farmer Klein has a video. He's farming in a place called, I want to call it Serenity Valley or something like that. I'm not sure how his pig prices are compared to ours. I'm not sure if he's playing in hard mode like we are. But it makes sense to me that we would take on the production. We're going to take it as far as we can. We're not going to do a damn thing about it until the fall, that's for sure. But the other problem with doing it that way is that the investment we need to make in that factory is roughly $250,000. Well, it's exactly $250,000. Plus, we need to buy a special, or lease a special trailer to deliver to that plant. Plus, we need to buy a refrigerated trailer because the health and welfare people are not going to let us just throw the meat in the back of the Land Rover and deliver it to the stores. So there's a huge amount of expense that has to be done. I'm projecting roughly 300,000. I don't think I can borrow more than a grand total of about $450,000 on my account with the equity that we have in these fields. So once we sell off some crop, once we get rid of our excess corn and our excess canola and our excess wheat, will we be able to have enough to buy the factory and make a go of it? Not convinced. I'm not convinced we can. But this is all part of the experiment, right? I mean, we're not doing this because it was safe. We're not doing this because it was guaranteed. We're doing it to see if it's doable. So, step one. Let's see where we're at by the end of the fall with our pig production. Do we have enough pigs at the price of $1,000 a piece or $1,200 a piece to pay back our loans, to pay back, to make a profit on our initial investment and all that stuff? Or do we need to, I hate to say this, and you're gonna hate me for saying it, do I need to get a job to pay for it? And when I say get a job, I'm thinking, yep, we might have to go do some logging. We might have to put in a week or two of logging to pay for the pigs. Ugh. I thought I was done with logging. I'm looking to rent some equipment to make sure we don't have to do it all with a chainsaw. But we'll have to see. Okay, let's empty out this tank. Okay, 16%, is close enough. Let's fold it up. You get some sense of how much plowing was done in the last 3 days when you start flying around like that. It was fairly relentless, but there's something about it that is also extremely therapeutic about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment, but either way, I'm going to have to redo it all now with the cultivator, so if you like going up and down fields a lot, doing it with a small gear is certainly the way to go. So that was roughly half that field. So we have 3 tanks here. So we may make it. If not, I'll have to run down to the store with the Land Rover, and running down to the store with the Land Rover is not the problem. Running down the store with this thing going 27, that's the problem. So basically, I'm trying to, if I need to lift stuff onto the trailer, this is the machine that is a drag to drive all the way down there just to be able to use the front forks. Kind of wish the store had its own machine to be able to look after us that way, but it's kind of a small community, so it's a little bit of a DIY kind of situation. Okay, open her up. Maybe one of these days we'll have one of those self-contained sprayers, but it'll be a while before that happens, I'm sure. Who knows, you know? At some point, we should maybe buy a big farm and do the big thing. But, as I've said many a time before, it's not generally my style. And it's certainly no different, really, doing this with a tiny machine or doing it with a monster machine. Either way, the job must be done. Okay, let's finish off this field. I think we can do it with one more tank. Certainly hard to tell from the mini-map, but these fields are massive. I have no problem believing that we're going to have lots of product once we get through all this stuff. It was certainly a chore to plow them all, so now I feel like I know the land intimately, if you know what I mean. Okay, 9%. So let's just go for it, and we have one more strip over here. When it comes to this kind of acreage, I'm generally not too fussy about getting 100% coverage. If we miss corners here and there, like I didn't quite plow it perfectly or anything like that, it's quite acceptable. It's not going to cut into our overall margin by any more than 1% or 2. So we're going to be fine. So you see that strip over there at the end over there? Yep, that's not going to get done. We're going to have to decide now after seeding how we're going to get our third level of fertilization. I generally prefer to just run a physical or a mechanical weeder through everything. It's a $31,000 cost that I don't think we'll be able to do this time around when spray fertilizer is so much cheaper. So we shall see. And of course, you know, if we get it on the first level of growth, we don't have to worry about investing in row crop tires or anything crazy like that. Whoops, didn't make it. Oh well. Okay, fold it up. So on that note, I've got 2 more fields to fertilize like this before I start cultivating. I'll probably finish the fertilizing today, begin to cultivate, and if we can have all 3 fields plus the potato field done by the end of tomorrow, we're going to be in good shape. I think we'll be able to pull some of this stuff off that we're planning to do. So on that note, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'm going to leave you right here, and I'll see you tomorrow.